This is TLFM Online Radio Station Chicago, Dimensión Latina FM Radio TV. Baja nuestra aplicación a través de tu iPhone o Android. Búscanos como Dímela FM. Búscanos en TuneIn Radio como Dimensión Latina FM y visita nuestra página web dimelafm.com.
This is ELSA PRADO with Wings of Love. Today we have a great program. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is when we can acknowledge teachers and students on the program, because it gives us an opportunity to acknowledge those that don't get too much of attention in the world that we live in. A lot of times the people that work the hardest are the ones that get the least amount of recognition. So welcome everybody to Wings of Love. We are broadcasting live on Facebook Live through Radio Dimensión Latina FM. And I want to welcome our guest, Dr. Michael Ayala, who is the winner of the Cook County Co-Regional Teacher of the Year Award this year. So congratulations on the award and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on the show.
I really hope that the students are watching and the parents and the people that you work with, because I think that this is one of those moments that do warrant having the acknowledgement, the recognition. And also to give you a little bit of background about what he's doing is he's at John Hershey High School, Township High School District 214. And he established the Latin American Student Organization. Acronym is LASO, when he began teaching at John Hershey High School and recently led in a 5-week ethnic mural leadership project, collaborating with the Black Student Union, the Indo-Pac Club, Asian Culture Club, and Advocacy and Entertainment Clubs. So tell us more about what this entails. What does the organization do, and what gave you this idea to do this? I mean, I think it's a groundbreaking work when you look at the whole picture.
Well, I mean, we had another teacher at another school in our district. His name is Arturo Fuentes. Es mi hermano,
Okay.
Not really, but he's a brother of mine,
Right.
He's a friend of mine. And he did a project with Victor Montañez,
Yes.
famous local artist in Chicago, who
Yes.
does some wonderful work. And
Yes.
And so he created a mural for Wheeling, and we wanted to do something, but we wanted to expand it to include more of our groups, of our students who are less seen or are marginalized or feel like they don't have a place in school. And so by doing this, we were able to give them an opportunity for them to stay after, to participate in something. And in reality, this was a leadership program. So we basically brought in all of the leaders and we created new leaders. And so this allowed us to have a leadership force of students who helped change the climate of the school, gave each other an opportunity to get to know each other and to be able to work together and to create a beautiful mural that is now on display at our school. And the beauty about what happened with that artwork was not necessarily the artwork, although the artwork is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It surprised everybody. I mean, honestly, nobody knew what it was going to look like. Okay. Right. But that wasn't the beauty of it. It was the beauty of the groups coming together and working the way they did, giving up their after school, giving up their Saturdays to be able to work and come together on something. While at the first couple of weeks, we did team building, so they can get to know each other, so they can make a collective group in order for them to work together. So some of them were getting a little frustrated because they're like, when are we going to start painting? When are we going to start painting?
Mhm.
And we're like, we are not ready yet. We need to get to the point where we can work together so that we can create this project. And once we were at the point, we started painting, and from there it just went. And it was just so cool to watch the thought process, the ideas that came from them become a reality, and it was so cool to see the finished product. So the finished product is really beautiful, but the process itself and the growth that we saw in the students and the working together and everything that happened in between was what really made the project worthwhile. And it's something that I want to do again, and I want to make it a little bit bigger. So one of the goals that I have is to be able to work with other schools to do the same, and
Mhm.
hopefully we can do and bring this to be able to do with other programs. So that's one of the goals that I have, and I hope that to be able to do that.
Right. I think it's impressive as Victor Montañez has been on the program, and we have had an opportunity to also talk about the work that he's been doing as an artist, but the work that he does with the kids is also very impressive. And I think when you all work together that way, the way you have come together with all these other teachers and the people that are integrated into this project, and all the work that you guys are doing. I think that's what really is the leadership program, and just being able to teach kids something that they don't usually learn in school. I mean, leadership is not one of the things that is your typical curriculum. Am I right? you know?
Correct. And I got to give credit to all the teachers that helped out, all of the sponsors that were there. We have many teachers who participated to help with, we had the sponsors of each group that came in and helped, and they were part of this group that made this possible. So this wasn't just something that I was able to do by myself. This was a collective. And once again, I think that's the beauty of the way it came out to be, because we all worked together to bring this from beginning to end, and we created this beautiful project that we still have hanging in the wall of our school. It is just so beautiful to see, and to have all of the people that participated. I gotta thank every single one of them. I don't want to name names because I'm gonna forget a name. So I just thank every single one of the club sponsors that were there, and I just want to make sure that everyone understands that this was a collective group, and this was something that we all did together. I just was the catalyst that brought everyone together, and we formed this group to get this moving. And I was the one that came up with the idea, and to start the process and to push that ball rolling so that it gets
Right.
momentum. And I'm just really proud of what came out of it. So the work that was done is amazing, and the students did such an amazing job, and I'm so proud of what they did.
Yes, it's impressive, that the kids really put their heart into it, and the very nice things that I've seen them do because of this idea that was started. Also, I have to mention that you've also been recognized with other awards and other acknowledgments, like the Robert Hansen Service to Students Award, the Outstanding Contributions to the Education Award. Tell us a little bit more about you in these types of this work that you're doing that has earned you these awards.
Well, I mean, I just, one of the things that I feel is, I'm humbled by all the awards. Uh, it feels good to feel be recognized, but what feels even better is when the students come back and they tell me that they went ahead and graduated, or when they invite me to their graduation from college, or when I found out that I don't know, I got sick when I started my doctorate, and I got sick, and I couldn't finish it. And so one of my students went to college. I was out of work for 3 years because I really got sick. with a bad. I had bad vertigo, and I had brain surgery and everything.
Oh, wow.
And so it was a bad accident. And guess what? The student beat me to my doctorate. I mean, and she told me that it was because of me, and she went ahead and studied Latino studies because of me. And so
Oh,
when that right there, those are the awards that really matter. But the recognitions that are being given, is just, it's important to recognize teachers, because especially with today's day and age, the shortage that we have, the need
mm-hmm.
for teachers. We need to be able to recognize the hard work that people do, so that we can get more people involved. And we need good teachers, and we need students to be able to see their teachers in a very positive way, because there are not a lot of teachers like me. And when I say that, I mean Latino teachers teaching Latino
Right.
students. And so Latino students, when they see someone like me and they see a doctor in front of them, they're like, whoa, I can be a doctor. And that in itself helps change their mentality. And hopefully they get a chance to feel that they can do more, and they can be able to be a part of this need that was keeps growing and growing. We got to build more teachers. We need good teachers, and we need to find students who would like to do this work. This is a lot of work, and to be able to get some type of recognition is important for students to see, and for teachers to feel. It is unbelievable. Like I said, I really enjoy the students' calls and their emails when they telling me that it's just something that just, I mean, it makes me cry.
Exactly.
It makes me cry. And so the awards, that's one thing. I'm not doing any of the work that I do for awards. They're they're given because someone saw something that they felt it was important to be recognized. And there are a lot of teachers, and this is where I feel that is where I feel very bad. I'm getting this award, and there are other teachers who are doing the work that is amazing, and they're not getting recognized. And I feel like, wow, why me? And that's where I feel like this is, they need to get the award. And it feels, that there needs to be more awards given, or just, there's so many teachers who go through their entire life and never get recognized. And the fact that I have gotten recognized is unbelievable, and I appreciate it very much, and I feel lucky and blessed for that. um,
I agree that what you're saying, I think that there should be much more awareness for the profession of teaching education, and there isn't enough recognition for it. Often, that's why I take this step of doing these programs. I bring teachers and professionals that hardly ever get recognized, and I also bring in students because the kids also don't get,
Yep.
like I had mentioned before in another program. I find it very unsettling when the only kids that get attention are the ones that are doing the shootings, or they committed a horrendous act of crime, and then that's on the news. Why don't we have any of the good deeds of the kids that are outstanding, the kids that are going the extra mile, and taking on the extra work and doing all these things that they love so much, but yet no one ever gives them a pat on the back and says, hey, you're doing a great job, and that's part of it, that we have to give this more attention, more time and effort in giving the students and the teachers. And what can I say about pay? I mean, I don't think any teacher at this point in the society that we're living in makes anywhere near what they should be making, for all the hours and all the work that they put in, because it's nonstop work. It never ends.
I mean, the thing that people forget is the all the education that all the teachers have doesn't equate to the education that other people have in the professions. And so when you put those together, you realize the unbalance of pay is real,
It
and
is real.
and 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 so you're right about that. But we're not in it for the money, although we need to live.
And
And
well, that's how I look at it. I look at it more as survival.
yeah,
You also have a family to raise. You also have a family, to keep up and everything. So it just makes, like, where's the, at least trying to get a little more balance with the pay situation.
right. I mean, and I personally, with all the years that I have and all my education, I'm fine with the pay right now. But compared to other professions, I'm not making anywhere near what I should be making. I'm not making my worth, right? But the
Right.
reality is, I'm not in it for that. I'm in it because I like what I do, and I think that's what shows. And and the kids see that. They know that I mean that I want to be there for them. And I think that's one of the reasons why when students tell me what I did for them and I realize that, it helps me keep going. It helps
Right.
understand that what I'm doing is good. What I'm doing is correct. And so, like I said to someone, I want my students to remember me that I am a teacher who taught them how to be caring, thoughtful, respectful, honest. Uh,
Right.
and by the way, I also taught them Spanish. And
Good.
it's like, you know, it's 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 something that I want them to be able to be the person who they're going to be, in our society, to be a good citizen, to be a person who can care for others, and as they're going through high school, that's my 2 cents. This is what I can teach you. And so hopefully, they can learn that, but they also get my subject matter, which is Spanish. I teach them, the language, and
Right.
and that's the goal. I'm not just a Spanish teacher, and I want them to remember me that as that when they're gone and become the professionals they're gonna become. I want them to remember me that I was someone that impacted them, and it is nice to hear some the students call me and email me when they heard about this award, how grateful they were, what I've done for them, and it just that's humbling. It's just so humbling.
It's also very rewarding. It's like whatever you don't get in money, you get it in this type of reward, because it does make a huge difference knowing that the work that you're doing it has paid off. It is paying off.
And not only is it paying off, but you see that when you do that, you you build something. It's something that has an ongoing effect. It's not over. And so I would like to say it's like my legacy, and it
Right.
lives on through them. And so now that I'm getting closer to retirement and becoming a teacher who is going to be leaving the profession but continuing on doing other things with the education, I think it's important for me to keep in mind that I want to leave that legacy, and I want this. This is part of my legacy, and this award is part of it. But it's the impact that I've had that's part of the legacy, not the award, but the impact, and that's what I
Right.
want. And I'm grateful that someone's seen that, but it's more rewarding when students let me know, because you don't
Exactly.
always hear that. You don't always hear.
Yeah. And that's what I call giving kids their little wings of love. Because when you do this from the heart and you really put that passion in it, and you lovingly give it to them without expecting anything in return, which you really don't, because you don't know how the kids will turn out. But when you do see how they turned out, or you were the person that inspired them to become who they are today, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I haven't even said that you were awarded the 2021 Paul Griffith Illinois Foreign Language Teacher of the Year award. So I had to say that too, because I didn't want to miss that out as we're talking about this. But it is something that, like you said, that's the legacy. That's what you're leaving behind. And I think we all think about that. When I'm not here no more, how will I be remembered?
Yeah.
And I think we all should think about how we want to be remembered.
I think it guides you as to what you want to do in life. And I think right now I'm thinking, what can I do next? What can I leave behind? What will I be able, who can I help? Who can I impact? And that's what I'm looking at right now, as to how can I continue doing what I'm doing, and be able to impact as many people as I can. And so, doing what I like is very rewarding, and it's something that, you know how they say, you go ahead and you do what you like, you never work a day of your life. That's
Exactly.
that's kind of what it is. But you know, it is hard, and so we go back to the reality that there's a lot of things that go into this profession that make it difficult to do the job that I want to do. You know, there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of things that need to be taken care of, and so many new things, changes to education, the whole COVID situation, the whole learning to run differently, run your class in a much different way. And now with all the students having all these emotional needs that have resulted because of COVID, being there for them takes another toll and takes another level of of who I am, to be able to work with the students and try to give them that piece of me, so that they can be a little bit more whole.
And as we're being candid about the mental situation that we currently have in our country and in the world itself because of the pandemic, give me your 2 cents of how what you see coming as a result of this pandemic, as a result of all the things that these kids have endured. Because I think the kids took a big shot, and I don't think that we give it the credit that it really has,
Yeah.
happened in their lives. But to take 2 years, 2.5 years of your life, and
Yeah.
like even I myself at times I feel like there's a gap there. There's a hole. Something like somebody took something away from me for a long time.
You know, I've been thinking about this, and I think that one of the things that we need to realize is that there is that that gap, right, of being in school for 2 years, for a lot of these students. But it's not the gap itself; it's the exposure to other students and the exposure to the fact that, the social skills and all of that. And so the students who need to get the help, and they need to be able to get the help, because if they get the help and they come through it, they're going to become stronger and they're going to be more resilient than ever. And I think that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for this group of students to be more resilient than the students that have come in the past that we have dealt with. Because right now we're dealing with a lot of students who need a lot of special care because of the needs that they have. There's a lot of mental health issues that we need to be aware of. And hopefully it helps us as a society to understand that, to get rid of this stigma of mental health that's going
Exactly.
on, especially in the Latino community, that it's such a negative stigma
Hmm.
that,
Hmm.
we need to make sure that we understand that we need to get the help. And there's nothing wrong talking to a therapist or talking to someone who knows what they're talking about, to help you through a problem that you are struggling with. And I think that's a positive, from this. So we got to go through the rough to be able to get to the positive. But I think if we get through it, we're gonna find a lot of resilient kids who are gonna be coming out of something, who will be able to deal with a lot of things in the future. And that's what I'm hoping for. Right now
And
we're
that
struggling, but in the
and
future,
no, and it's true. And I think that as adults and being the generation that has to see them through some of these hurdles, I think that that's something that it's just makes, making a point of it and bringing this awareness out to all of our parents and everybody around us, and the kids themselves.
yeah,
I think there's a lot of stuff that has happened in silence,
great,
but still needs to be voiced out. It still needs to be digested and processed, and these kids need an opportunity to be able to do so,
yes.
so that they can heal.
And that is, and all of us do, right? We all need our own special healing, right? But,
Hmm.
the students, their situations have come to a point where a lot of them, they don't know how to deal with it, and so they're coming into situations that are brand new to them, and they need to get the help, and we need to be there for them as much as we can. And that's my role as a teacher, as an educator. I'm not an expert. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a social worker, but I can help, and I can send them to the people who can get the help.
Right.
To help them get the help that they need. So that's where my role is, and I see myself as a conduit to give them that opportunity to heal and
Mm-hmm.
and to help them heal. So it is important. We need
It
to.
is, and we can't like play the blind eye in any way at this time. We
No.
really have to just address it, and like they say, take the bull by the horns, because
Oh
if
yeah.
we don't, we're gonna lose
Oh yeah.
um, these kids in ways that we don't want to lose them.
That's true. That's true. And
So if you had to say anything that that is very important today, and obviously this goes beyond winning any award or being recognized, what would be your message to the families that you serve?
um, okay. I want all the families that I serve that to understand that there is some adult that is in the school that will listen, that will help, and that their children need to be able to get to one of their teachers, one of the adults, to be able to ask for help, to be able to go and get to know them so that they can get that letter of recommendation for them to get to college, for them to be able to get that feeling of that sense that they belong at that school, to
Hmm.
find that adult, that teacher who their children can connect with, so that their schooling can be a little bit more pleasant, and so that they can enjoy what they do, because every single one of us within us have the capacity to do some amazing things. We
Right.
all we just got to find what we want to do and discover how to do that. And once we do that, we can do anything, and it doesn't matter the skill level. Everyone has their capacity up and their talent, but we all can do that. We can all find something that we like to do, and work hard to do that. And we can get any kind of education in that, and we can make money in whatever we want to do, doing our passion. And that's kind of what I would say to the parents: help your children find their passion, and allow them to explore it, and for them to find a teacher who can help guide them find that passion and guide them in the direction where they need to go, to help
Right.
them through the school process, or the system, so that way they can get through it, and become the people who they're going to be, because we're just there, the adults, to be able to guide them. We're their second parents in a way, because we
Hmm.
see them out of their home, and we are with them many times, and many times our kids don't listen to my kids don't listen to me. My
Hmm.
son and daughter don't listen to me. They listen to other adults, and I
Right.
know that as a parent. So I know that I am that adult for other parents,
Right.
that I'm the adult that their kid might listen to. And so I know that I need to guide them in the best way possible. And that's what I try to do. And that's why I want them to be their best. And so that's what I teach. And that's what I do in my classrooms. I teach them to be that person, to care for others, to understand that they're not the only person in the room, and that there are other people, and that they're there to learn, but they're there to help each other. And so by doing all of that, they are becoming that person, and they're learning my subject matter, which I believe is very important, is as
Hmm.
important as math, okay, and as other subjects. I personally do, but that's, everybody believes that about their own subject. But this is what I'm getting at, that if the parents would to allow the students to find that passion, the students would push themselves to become the best they can in whatever they want to do, and to find that person that is an ally, a helper, a person who can give them guidance at the school, someone outside of their family, someone outside of another that's not their parent, who can guide them. That's what they need to do. So that's my advice as a teacher, for parents, to help their students find that adult in the school to who they can identify with,
Right. That
and
they can relate to.
they can
As,
and
right.
not become friends, because I'm not
No,
student
right.
friends. I am their adult mentor. I am there for them, but I am their teacher, and I will always. And I tell them that I will always be your teacher,
Hmm.
and that is something that, you know, I think that relationship is important for them to understand as well, and I think that's what's cool about, getting those phone calls from these students who are now, even, they got their own kids. One of my students came from when I first started at Hershey in 1994. He graduated in 98, and he came with his son to come and eat lunch with me, just so that I can see him and I can meet his son. And it was just, I
It's
mean,
amazing, right? That's amazing. Like, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. It doesn't.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but just the fact that he remembered me and wanted his son to meet me was something special. And there are many situations like that. And this is way before this whole concept of getting this award. This was you know. So these are the things that I get up in the morning for, to help these students become the people who they're going to be. And it's just, I'm there, to form them as much as I can, and to teach them. And like I said, I want them to remember me as a person who, not just a Spanish teacher.
Exactly. And
Because
they will. And they will, because these are the things that are done with the heart. And when you put your heart and soul into whatever it is that you do, you know that you will accomplish that mission. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think I always call it our divine mission, because I mean, I think we all come into this world to do something and leave something behind, where we make this world that we live in a better place. And I hope that the students that are listening today and the students that are watching, they also see themselves a part of this world, and that they want to be a part of that, this cohesive group of people that want to make the world that we live in a better place
right.
for future generations to come.
Yeah. This is what, if everyone could do a little part, this would be, and so this is my way of trying to add my little grain of salt, to this whole pile, and hopefully makes a difference. And you know, and so I work for the reason of forming lives, and creating students who can learn, who question, who can think for themselves, and that's the kind of thing that is important for us to understand. We don't
Hmm.
want students who just repeat things and just be
Right.
parrots. We don't want that. We want them to be able to think for themselves and ask questions, and because we don't always see eye to eye. My students, don't always agree with me, and it doesn't have to be that way. And I think they
Hmm.
understand that, and that's why we can have really good arguments, really good discussions in class, especially at the higher levels that I teach. And I think that's important for us to be able to do as teachers. Give them that opportunity for them to express themselves in a way that they can learn to do it in a
Hmm.
respectful manner, and be able to defend themselves. And so that's what I do. I'm a person who forms lives.
Exactly. I see so much love in you, and like I said, and you're giving your kids wings of love, which is what this program is all about, and that's what is so important in life, and to do it, while we're here, because we're all in passing, and we will all have this time on Earth to make it a better place, or not make not waste our lives, but give something back to the world, and I think that's what you're doing with everything that you're doing. And I really hope that the students that are watching today took something out of this, that they get something out of this program, and, also, put that in their hearts so that they can pass it on to other kids down the road, with whatever they choose to do. That there will always be something that we could do to give back.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that is important for them to understand is that once they leave, for example, my classroom, my school, they're always welcome back to see me and to talk to me, and I'm always going to be there for them, and until I'm not, of course.
Thank you for that. Yes, thank you for that. Well, we're running out of time, and I'm going to have to close because time goes so fast, when we're, having these chats and just talking to the community, about this kind of stuff. And I just thank you so much for being here today, and for sharing, and for giving everything that you give to these students, because I think that that's the biggest reward, is when we invest in our children. Investing in our children is the most important, I think, part of life. Whether it's your own kids or someone else's kids, because as we always have known, it takes a village to raise them,
It does.
And, as parents, we always hope that there's other people that are also going to be a part of our own kids' lives, and that they will, make a difference for them as well, to add to that,
And I hope I'm one of those people that the parents could count on. And I do want to thank you for having me on your show, and I appreciate all the time. Thank you.
You're most welcome. It's been my pleasure, and I hope all the students and the teachers that are watching, you help us celebrate Dr. Michael Ayala, and that you put in your comments. Send us your comments. Congratulations, celebrating, and I really hope that you have continued success in everything that you do. And I also heard that there's this mural in the works again, so can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with us. Well, that's all for today. And thank you, everybody who's been watching this broadcast and, taking in some of what we have shared today with you. Thank you, everyone. Much blessings to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Michael Ayala. And thank you, everybody that has participated and joined us today. Bye-bye.
ELFM Online, Radio Station Chicago, Dimensión Latina, FM, Radio TV. Baja nuestra aplicación a través de tu iPhone o Android. Búscanos como Dímela FM. Búscanos en TuneIn Radio como Dimensión Latina FM y visita nuestra página web dimelafm.com.